Can I ask you a follow-up question about like showing appreciation? Because I think
Yeah.
appreciation and gratitude are free, and it's like a super high leverage in terms of relationship building and making people feel good. And I'm thinking about some of the teams and people joining us today, and some of their teams may not have like the same resources to pay, you know, the top percentile of salary band for an engineer, but appreciation and gratitude are free. What are your favorite practices? Like what are the ones that you go to really show that you care and but want to go above and beyond for this particular candidate?
Yeah. So recapping like things they've said, I mean, being an active listener, right? When they tell you something, bringing that back and saying, you know, and I've had people where I've emailed and, you know, even when they've said no, I've come back and said, hey, you know, I've really enjoyed, I would love to have the opportunity to work with you in the future sometime, you know. And I tell everyone, like, it's a small world. Our paths are going to cross again. But, you know, when you're giving that, when you're showing that gratitude, that appreciation, you know, giving them the love, right? The easy things are really just highlighting their talents, right? Genuinely, but highlighting their talents. Now, you don't want to ever speak in a patronizing term, but telling them how well they went, how well they did, telling them, you know, the role they can play, telling them how excited you are, right? And I talk to other people and I say, hey, you know, 4 of us are really, really excited about you coming. I've talked to the CEO and I've told the candidate, you know, hey, I just talked to the CEO, I told him all about you. He thinks you're great and wants to get you on board as well, right? And then following up with, you know, the CEO or whomever, sending an email, right? A personal email, not a form mail, right? But, you know, you really write something genuine to somebody and say, hey, you know, I've heard about you, I've seen your work. I think you'd be a great addition to the team. You know, I hope you say yes. And I've told people, like, I'm always very direct. And I've been on an interview call, a cell call with someone, and I said, and this is like right when they go, hello, and I'm like, hey, I'm Darian. And I said, I just want to be honest, like, my goal is to get you to come work for me. He goes, what do I have to tell you, or what do you have to learn to say yes? Right? Is there like one more thing I need to like? And I'm like, I really want you to come here. Like, just help me get you over the finish line, right? And they appreciate that. And some of them are like, whoa, you're very forward. I'm like, I'm very honest too. You know, you can beat around the bush for half an hour, or we just cut right to the chase. But, you know, when they hear that, they're like, and then they start really thinking, like, is there anything they need to know? And it's like a question on benefits, on what you're working on the team, anything. And generally it's no at that point. You just need a little encouragement, right? You give them that little encouragement, they come on over and, you know, they're able to do great things. And you need to bring every metric out. You bring out your retention rates, how many times people, you know, accept your offers and how happy people are. If you do like any company surveys, you know, you have to use every single tool, especially when you don't have the big money to bring people in, but you need everything at your disposal to get them over there, because there's so much more than money. And I found 2 things with money. One, everybody has like a quality of life amount of money they need to make, right? And it's like, this is where I want to live. I want to have a car, whatever it is. There's a certain threshold. They're like, I just can't live my life unless I make this much money. And then beyond that, people want to make sure they're not being taken advantage of. Right. And this is where, you know, if you are very authentic and honest, this will come across. And I tell people when I give them the benefits, I said, this is the company portion. Everybody gets the same. This is like, we don't negotiate on healthcare. It's just everybody gets it, including the CEO. Right. Okay, great. He knows he's not going to be left out in that stage. And then I'm like, now this is your personal portion. Right. This is going to be salary and equity. And if you have a bonus or anything else, like all those things come in there. And then you let them know that they're leveled and that you care about salaries and you want everything to be equitable. And just so they feel like they're not being taken advantage, because the worst thing that can happen for a candidate is for them to get less money because they didn't ask one question during the interview. And this is where I'm definitely leaning on the side of non-negotiable job offers, because you don't want the people who are just extroverted to get more money in the company. Right. And somebody who's really talented and introverted should get less because they didn't ask the right question during the interview. That's not right. You know, and I don't think that's, you know, the type of culture we want, where the people who are, you know, it's not an inclusive culture when you only advance people with a certain skill set.